welcome everybody to TouchTone Tuesday presents Tell Your Story. I am your host, Dr. Sheri Dark-Goudeau, and it brings me pleasure to bring these stories to you every month, as often as we can. And tonight we have a guest. She's my sister, she's my friend, she's a classmate, and we look fab boo. I'm telling you. So you want to call somebody, hit the chat somewhere, tell them come on in the room because L-Town is in the house on tonight. We're doing a flashback and then we're gonna bring it forward. You guys put your hands together for amazing guest, Miss Lisa Autry Smesny. Hey girl, how you doing?
I'm doing great. So good to see you.
Oh, you looking great. And I told y'all she looks fabulous, right? Okay, y'all see this thing. So you know how we do it. We just go ahead and jump on in here. So from the beginning, tell us a little bit. Where were you born?
I was born in Conroe, and I started kindergarten in Spring Branch, which is a little suburb right off of Houston. It's still there. I think it's kind of near Sharpstown area now. That's what they call it. In fourth grade, I moved to Liberty. I started Sam Houston Elementary. That's where I met you. I can still see you sitting there with your little pom-pom ponytails and your little cat glasses, right?
That's the one. That's the one.
I still see you. So that's how we met.
Oh my goodness, my goodness. And guys, let me tell you, she's telling you about the travel to get to Liberty, but it was always like she was just a part of the community. We didn't think anything else other than that, than L-Town, she's home, and it was a great ride, I'm telling you. So girl, yes, tell us a little bit more here. Now you come from a blended family, like a lot of us do in America, but tell us about the good part of that blended family. What'd you take away from it?
I always felt lucky because I had 2 birthday cakes, 2 Christmases. I felt special. I didn't feel any different. I felt even more special. So to me, that's a highlight when I think back compared to now.
Yeah. And you know what?
Everybody doesn't handle it the way my parents did. When we would switch off kids, we would have lunch all together and visit. No one was mad, or I'm sure stuff went on, but they made it nice for the kids, always.
Exactly. And that's what I think as well. You know, I think you and I relate really well right here. They made it about us. They made it about the kids. And that's what makes it richer, at least for me. And then when we compare so many things happening in society now with that other drama we're not going to talk about tonight, the kids are never at the forefront. And I think that made the difference with you and I. As a matter of fact, I know it did. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing on that. Now, what was it like growing up in small town America?
I love the time I was born. We played outside. We rode our bikes all over town. We picked up bottles out of the ditch and got dimes and nickels to go up to Griffin and Callaway Pharmacy and get Cokes, and there were no cell phones. I knew where my friends were by whose bike was in whose yard. You know, we couldn't call each other. The parents didn't worry about you. Of course, high school, the 80s were the best.
Right.
We had the best hair, the best clothes, and the best music.
Thank you, hands down.
They're trying to bring it back now, but girl, it's not the same. You know that. It's not the same.
It's not the
We had the best year. We did.
I would agree with that. I still remember the football team as we're catching up over here, you guys. But I still remember the football team. I mean, top notch. We went out on a high note, and I still remember.
You were in the band.
Every touchdown. Oh yeah, in the band. Every touchdown was another one bites the dust. And we knew we came in on that, and we could roll out on that because look, the dove was in the car, okay.
That's true.
Yeah, it was on. I agree with you. 80s good. 80s good here. So this life that you have now, though, you have this life now. Is it the same that you dreamt of as a little girl? And if not, then how was it different?
feel like it's much different. I always knew I wanted children. I love to babysit. That's how I made my money, to go to the movies, you know. I got married. I don't think I would really change anything on that. I'm glad that happened.
Yeah.
I'm blessed with, I had 2 kids.
Yeah.
I got a good husband.
That you do.
I got 5 grandbabies. I should have had those first. They're much different.
Tell us about it.
I got married at, I was almost 22.
Yeah.
I found a great guy. He came across the river to get me from Dayton.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So, good man, good provider, good father.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change anything. And my life is I don't know what most people dream of, but I love my life.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Because I mean, you really have been all about family, even growing up. You know, we always talked about our families, and she would laugh at the Christmas tree that would stay up, by the way, guys.
I just love that.
I just now started taking Christmas trees down. So we're just going to leave that right there. Anyway, as we move.
We'll be married 35 years in August. So.
Wow. This
love
is
it.
phenomenal.
Not a lot of people are in that club.
Phenomenal. You guys are made for each other, though. You can definitely see it. You can hear it. And y'all, he still looks at her. You know what I'm saying? That look, he still looks at her with that look. Yeah. It's never left. It's never left. The love is very evident. You know, seeing your beautiful children, by the way, the pictures, and her grand loves, because I have grand loves, by the way, you know, now as well. So yeah, that's, and you're about right. Probably would have started with those first, but nevertheless, love all our kiddos.
They're much more.
Love all our kiddos. Now, you talk about this phenomenal marriage, though. And of course, marrying your sweetheart, love of your life, and he's certainly the love of yours. But you guys have had some moments there. Tell us about the most frightening moment in your marriage.
Well, it has to be in 2012. In March, I retired. Thought I was retiring from the country club. I worked in banking for 17 years. I took a couple years off, and then I started working at Magnolia Ridge Country Club, doing the accounting and managing the office out there. And he just said one day, "Why don't you just quit and just stay home?" You know, I'm like, okay. That was March 31st of 2012. April 3rd, he's like, "I'm not feeling too well. Something's going on." Took him to the hospital. He had been diagnosed with early onset congestive heart failure. And I'm like, what is that? I didn't even know what that was. He'd never been sick, never missed work, no high blood pressure, no nothing, just don't feel well. He started swelling. I've been feeling bad about 3 weeks before he told me. So I got him there ASAP, and that's what we were told. His heart was very weak by that time. They wanted to put in an ICD, which would pace his heart and shock him if it was to stop, because it was so weak. He had like a 15% of, what do they call it?
Ejection fraction.
How it pumps. Ejection fraction, yes, ma'am.
Yes.
And he began to improve. It got to like 25. Then he started feeling bad again. He got 2 infections. It just went down until I got him to downtown Houston, to Houston Methodist.
Yes.
They saved his life pretty much. We got him there. His blood pressure was like 80/40. He was septic, infected. Call your kids, get them over here now. You know, all that. He pulled out of it. He is tough as a boot.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm fine. Well, we're going to be fine. So after multiple infections, they finally put another one in, took it out, put another one in. He beat it every time when they were telling me, no, this is it again.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Wow.
Nope. No, it's not. So, in October of 20, went through this, he would get better and go down. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
Your heart will get better and then go down. And then once you go down for like the last time, you don't get any better. So in October, they said, you're going to stay. You can't leave. It's not safe. Even with your new ICD, you're infection free, but you still can't leave. It's just not safe.
Yeah.
So October 31st, Halloween, they put him in the hospital. Thanksgiving Day, 28 days later, he got a heart. He was put on the transplant list. That's unheard of, to be 28 days on the list. People wait years, 2 years, 5 years. Some people run out of time.
Right.
They found almost a perfect match. He is on minimal meds compared to most people. So it was just such a perfect match. It was just a true Thanksgiving.
Wow.
He got it Thanksgiving Day.
Thanks.
And we went home Christmas. So it was like a holiday.
My holiday miracle.
Illness. Yes, ma'am.
A holiday miracle is what that is.
And we met the family in July of 2021. We began speaking to them in 2020, kind of on the phone and texting, but we actually went to Lubbock and met the family. The donor's name is Trevor, and we stayed with his sister and family for 3 days. Had a wonderful time. They're a wonderful family.
Oh my goodness.
I talk to her almost daily now.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So God even used that to bring you into.
He knew I needed to retire.
Yes. And he knew you needed to retire. But now you guys start this journey from 2012, at least it's literally 8 years that you're in this up and down.
Yes, almost 9 years I was a caregiver, and that's not easy either.
No, not at all.
Many of us at our age now are starting to have that with our parents or grandparents or whoever, godparents. Yes. And it's not an easy thing. And that's the main reason what I want to talk about with this. It's not easy, but you can do it.
But you can do it. You can do it. And you watched it with your spouse. How old was he in 2012 when
52 years old. Never sick. No son, active. They say a virus attacked his heart is what happened. They can't find any other reason. That was their final diagnosis on that.
Right. And guys, when she mentions the ICD, she's been around this, so long that she knows the terminology and what to look for in her husband, obviously, to get him through all of this time up until the time that they were able to receive the heart transplant. But when she says ICD, intracardiac defibrillator, and this is used to shock his heart, if it were to stop or give an abnormal rhythm while he was waiting on the heart transplant. And so how did all of this affect your life? I mean, you come through this, but obviously it had an effect on you. It had an effect on your children. I mean, just to hear that story, to me, it causes my heart to feel some type of way for you, because you have to speak to your adult children that your dad may not be here. I mean, how does this affect you?
It changed me for sure. I appreciate things more. I surely don't take my health for granted. I try to do better and eat better and encourage others to do the same. I leaned on Jesus more than ever, and it shouldn't have taken something like that to get me to run to him and trust him more, but I did.
Yeah. Guys, listen, this is not an easy journey by any stretch of the imagination. I happen to know them well, know a big part of their story, was blessed to be invited into the journey towards a miracle. Not everybody welcomes you.
Oh, I called you many times. You prayed with me.
Yeah. but you don't know the honor for me and the privilege for me to be a part of that miracle with you and our wonderful husband, Chuck. We just saw him a few minutes ago. So he's going out to mow the yard and do all the stuff that our husbands
I
do.
keep up with it now. It's like,
Yeah.
you have a 31-year-old heart. I don't. You know?
Exactly. And they're still driving us batty. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. But what an honor to be a part of that miracle with you and your family, and to hear the ups and downs. And there's still a part in Facebook where she invited us, Chuck's journey to his new heart. And I cherish that thing. I cherish that thing because we would get the moment by moment updates, but I gotta know it was tough on you guys.
Yeah, and we were on a floor where we couldn't have a lot of visitors, and so many people want to come up. And I was like, no, the parking is crazy over here. It's a long drive, and it's just half the time he was asleep. They would keep him kind of, but I was alone, but I never felt alone.
Yeah.
I did not.
Yeah. Your faith in God is just so incredibly strong. And that's what I drew from, from the time that you said you retired and he was telling you about that God had a hand in all of that, to say, this is the time to retire. This is the time that your husband is going to need you. This is the time that I'm going to pull you guys together very closely as a family. This is the time that I'm going to do the miracle, during a holiday season. And this is the time that I'm going to even connect you with the family that blessed you with this amazing heart. So I hear all of those connectors.
Once we were given that we were on the list, and then once you're actually hospitalized, you move up on the list farther.
Yeah.
And he actually had a heart pump, which was helping him along because it was weakening very quickly. I mean, the doctor told me, I don't even know how he's still here. I can't believe you haven't found him, because he wouldn't stop. I mean, he would still be out trying to weed eat.
Wow.
I mean, and he couldn't even walk to the mailbox and back. Just,
Yeah.
So he would not give up. He was so hard-headed, which I'm thankful for.
Yes.
But when the only choice you have is to be strong, you just do it. It's just in you. And I was strong for him and my kids.
Yes.
I couldn't lose it for my kids.
But you had that time, as you said, with God one-on-one. And so, as you said, never alone. Never alone.
Oh yeah. And something, I had a peace. I knew everything was going to work out. Yeah. I really did. It was kind of weird. People like, I appreciate all the prayers and everything, but it was like, I knew it was going to be fine.
Right.
I did.
Yeah. And it's just something about the peace of God that when he settles on a situation, even when you don't know, and so no matter what's going on around you, the outcome, you just sense it in your heart. So you come with all of this amazing experience, not by your own choosing, but here it is. How do you use this now to encourage other families, to encourage others in their marriage, other individuals that are going through tough times?
Well, like I said, as our age now, our parents are getting older. They need us. I have friends going through this right now. They're taking care of their elderly parents. Yeah. My latest encouragement to most of my friends is just, I did it for 9 years, in and out of the hospital for all those years. It's not easy. Mm-hmm. Some days I wanted to run. I just wanted to drive and just drive, But it's all worth it in the end.
It is.
And love does conquer all.
It does. It does. It does. It does. And you are just an emblem of strength. You always have been, guys, you always have been. Sports, etc. beyond. We were on Panther Paw, editor, all that stuff, and all our craziness. She gave me a flashback of a yearbook not too long ago, and some of this zaniness that I left with her. And I told her, girl, you're real good to even hold on to this foolishness. But she's always been that emblem of strength. And I see this with you now. I hear it in motherhood as we just celebrated Mother's Day. And again, happy belated Mother's Day to you, by the way. Yes, yes. And the two beautiful
Good
children.
day.
Yeah, it's a great day. It's a great day, man. But with you, you're, being a mom now, what's the thing that you love about motherhood and why?
It's my biggest accomplishment for
Mm.
sure. I already said this earlier though. I love being a grandmother. It's much more fun. Those little people, they make my world go around for sure. Makes it my life sweeter and better.
Yes.
But I am proud of my kids. My daughter's a nurse. My son works at Enterprise. He's a tech out there. Good kids. Makes me feel like I did some things right.
Yeah.
They're good people.
Good parenting breeds good.
Yeah.
You better know.
So,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. So
they're both good human beings.
Yes, you guys
Have a
definitely.
good partner.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Erica has a wonderful husband. Travis has a beautiful, nice wife. Couldn't ask for anything more.
Wow. Wow. This is pretty cool. Pretty cool. I love it. Yes. Yes, yes. Beautiful kids, by the way. By the way. So what advice would you give young moms now? A new mom. What would you say?
A new mom. You can do this. You can do it. Stop reading all the books. Stop reading the books. Please.
I like this, guys. I like this. She's got that comical edge too. Timing is just impeccable.
Take time to get to know your baby.
Yeah.
Get to know each other.
Yeah.
You'll learn patience, and that unconditional love is going to shine.
Mm-hmm.
You'll go. It doesn't matter if you sleep or not. You're still going to love the little thing.
Yeah.
When they're little, the time is so precious. People say it all the time. Oh, they grow so fast. Well, they really do. It's not just the saying. So enjoy your baby. That's what I would say to my next door neighbor. Just had a new baby.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Just enjoy. Don't. And people stress about breastfeeding. Oh, I can't breastfeed, or the baby feels all the stress.
Right.
So just be still and get to know each other. I think that's important.
Mm-hmm. That bonding time is so important, so important. And while we're talking, we just wanted to share all of the aspects of marriage, and of course, mommyhood, as we're celebrating moms this month as well, but to bring it all together in the essence of a woman, because you experienced new normals before new normals were terminology. You had so much of that. It's a household term right now, but you
Chuck and I were sporting the mask before it was a thing. We started the masks before COVID. We had a mask, so it's us. We started the whole thing.
There you go. There you go. They had this thing down. So that's what I appreciate about you guys so much, and your openness about your walk, about your journey. But you've taken all of this in. As women, we're watching this with you now, and I'm sure some of them are scratching their head going, I don't know how she's sitting up there looking like this right now, like she's got her right mind, and she's telling us this whole story. How is this happening? But I guess for us right now, you've dealt with family, you've dealt with your husband's illness, you watched your children grow right now, you're able to share some things with mommyhood. But who would you say Lisa is now?
I'm a mother and a wife, a grandmother. I'm a loyal friend. I love hard. If you're in my circle, I got you. Everybody knows that. My family's very important to me. I'm a giver. I'm learning how to be on the receiving end. That's not always easy for me. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
I'm a giver. And when somebody's like, oh, can I help you? Or do you need, I'm okay. Well, why would I love the feeling that I get when I bless someone.
Right.
So I'm like, Lisa,
we do.
Why would you want to take that from them?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Absolutely.
So I'm learning to, just little things. Like I'm just so used to doing everything for all those years. When people want to just do even little things for me, I got it, no big deal.
Yeah.
But I need to. That's what I'm working on
Yes.
lately. If that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense. I think you're speaking for both of us. As a matter of fact, I know you are. Yeah.
It's not a weakness. It's not a weakness to need people.
No. Would you say that again?
It's not a weakness to need people.
Okay. I just needed to hear.
I've always found it hard to, I don't know why, because I always had to be the strong one.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You spoke a mouthful for me and probably about 5 million women on this earth. It's not a weakness to need people. As the caretakers, we're born, and I believe we just gravitate to that role naturally, and we're called a helper. We're identified as the helper early on, even in scripture. But we live it out in such a way that we don't want to receive help, or we consider it a weakness if we need help. But many times, and oftentimes, the helper needs help to keep helping. And so you've just spoken a volumes there in that particular verbiage, but we needed to hear that. We needed to hear that. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. As we journey on, you and I, in our youthfulness, I might add, y'all see that? That's still looking good over there. Okay. Just wanted to make sure they're paying attention here. What do you hope to pass on to your children and grandchildren? What do you want them to know? And what do they call you, your grandchildren, by the way? I'd like to know that.
I'm G.
Okay.
They call me G.
Okay, G. What do you want?
When they want something, it's Gigi. It kind of depends. G.
Yeah, and the eyes go with it, by the way. Yeah, those eyes work magic. Yeah, and the lip. Yeah, that does. So what do you want them to know about G?
Well, my children are grown. I see some of myself in both of them, all the good qualities, of course. I wish them good health. I want them to love the outdoors like I did. A lot of kids stay inside way too much. I was very close to my grandparents, and I hope that we will always, stay close with them. We live nearby, thank goodness. I know I have friends that see their grandkids once or twice a year, and I just can't even fathom that. Wow. I want them to love Jesus and stay in church. I want them to be confident. I think that's something that's lacking in everybody, not just kids or little ones these days. I pray they stay close to each other, just like my kids grew up very close. They have the same friends. They got married 2 weeks apart. They had their babies 3 weeks apart. I was very busy there for a while. I just want them to be kind and loving humans, which I know they will be. Yeah. They have good soil too. Amen. They do.
And man, let me tell you, that's a legacy. That's a legacy. We think of so many other things, but to raise individuals, to raise children who will raise children to be nice people, good people, loving people who have the heart of Christ in them, I don't believe we can leave a richer legacy. In fact, I know we can't.
Well, being a nurse, being a doctor, it's a calling. My daughter's a nurse, and it's a
Mhm.
calling, just like to be a teacher or a preacher or a doctor. I believe that's a calling. Everyone just can't do it. It's not just something you decide.
Mhm. Mhm.
So my daughter, she has so much compassion. My son is full of empathy. They're just both good. I'm just so proud of both of them.
Oh my goodness, my goodness. And it shows, in each of them. And I am just so happy that you would share your journey in marriage, in love, in family with us, even in the hard times. We talk about the marriage vows often, in sickness and in health. But man, you live that thing out to a standard few of us can reach. And then to have
Yeah.
that breed over into the family, that gave one of the most selfless gifts ever, a heart. And it's a heart they get
Yes.
to stay in touch with because of your heart of Christ. And I just find that phenomenal. That speaks to me. That's so inspirational, Lisa. You have no idea. You have no idea. And I was able to share in this journey, y'all. There's a picture that we're able to share a little bit later, but that moment when they're able to see Chuck and to see him healthy. I sent you a text on that one, on how that affected me that day. That warms my heart to this day. And it says to me, God is alive. And
Yes,
more
ma'am.
importantly, Trevor lives in a kind Christian home to this day. Only God could have done that. Only God could.
Right.
Yes. So thank you, my love. Anything closing for us? I don't want to.
Well, since we're on that subject, there are over 10,000 people in Texas waiting for organs.
Yeah.
And over 100, and I think today I looked, it was 106,000 people nationwide needing heart, liver, any organs. They don't really specify.
Yes.
But if you want to be a donor, sign up. There's a lot of myths out there.
Yes.
Sheri, I'll ask her to put, it takes like not even 2 minutes to sign up.
Right.
It's worth it. You can save, one person can save up to like 8 lives.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
I've on the page you were speaking of earlier, his heart page on Facebook, every so often I'll just put the link and I'll get several people. That day I signed up. Thank you. I signed up.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
you don't need your body. You don't need it.
No.
Someone.
It is. And it's an amazing, as you say, selfless gift that you give, and life goes on. And you guys, she's going to be sharing some things as well this month, whatever she chooses, as well on our Facebook page. And that's Heart of a Woman International Ministries. We've asked her to come on board and to share some things. And it's my hope that you would share some of this as well there with respect to
Sure.
donors. Because there are a lot of myths about it, and we're sharing some health aspects here, but I think it's all a part of telling your story, because if you don't learn anything in the journey, you can't pass anything on. And so she's learned a great deal through this journey and passing it on. And donors are very, very minimal right now. And so for many reasons, but one person, 8 lives can be changed in that particular moment. And so
our particular donor, if you don't mind me talking about that a
no,
little bit.
please share.
It's just he happened to be in this area. He actually lived in Lubbock,
Mhm.
and his kidney went to a little boy in Highlands. So it was two local people
Oh my God.
that he saved.
He saved.
The little boy was, I believe, 9 or 10 years old, somewhere like that.
Wow.
And I mean, they use, the cornea, they use your skin, they use, there's a tiny bone in your ear that some people are born that are deaf, and it's amazing. People they just don't think about it.
No, it's phenomenal.
It doesn't take but 2 minutes.
Yes. But those are the things that can change events down the road.
Yes,
in
ma'am.
the future. And as we said on today, because of that selfless gift, we have our brother, your husband, father, grandfather that's here because of that selfless gift. And we gained a family.
That's right.
And they gained you all.
he would have never seen his other 4 grandkids.
Exactly. Exactly. 4 of the 5 guys, hear that. 4 of the 5 children, grandchildren would have been born not knowing him. That stands out all by itself. So again, thank God for you guys. And thank you for sharing this part of the story. But I know it's a little tough as you reflect on many of those things that God brought you through. But it's life-giving to those of us who are hearing it tonight, because many of us would not have known the story. And more importantly, we would not know that part that we might be able to play in someone else's life if it comes to that. And as you said, 2 minutes can make the difference. And that difference is called a lifetime. Yeah, yeah. So I want to thank you again. Thank you again so much. I love you, girl.
This has been nice. I was scared to death. I love to talk, but I'm not, never done this, girl. So I love you.
You know I do, and you look like a pro over here. So that's all I can say. So give my sweetie, my friend, my brother, big hug for sparing you here for about 45 minutes to an hour, sharing with us.
Outside, I said, you can't come in and take the dog.
But look, he can come in whenever he wants, because that's my brother. He can come in when he wants to. And that's enough there. But I love you. I appreciate you. I thank you so much for spending time with us and sharing this life, or what the new normal can look like, when we had no idea what we were even speaking of. And that new normal is now blessing us in this new normal. So thank you so much for that. And there you have it, from the one and only Mrs. Lisa Autry Smesny. I tell you, it just doesn't get any better than her. Guys, I hope you have been enormously blessed as you have heard the new normals even before we phrased new normal. Yes, she lived it, and oh, how she has lived it well. We'll have more information for you, as stated, with respect to life gift and how you may become a registered donor. So you'll see that in just a few moments. And again, thank you guys so much for joining us on this evening with TouchTone Tuesday presents Tell Your Story with me, Dr. Sheri Dark-Goudeau, and where one story can change many lives. It's been amazing. Thank you again for joining. We look forward to seeing you again in the days ahead. Have a great night, guys.